upon the information we have and our own prejudice. So if we have new information, we change in our opinion. But we believe that if all of us advocate that more journalists and social media individuals, those who hold talk show, stick with the truth, our country will be better. We don't have to tell lies on politicians. Politicians doing enough wrong already. You don't have to lie on them. But we must stick to the truth. And if we're doing that, we're going to encourage other radio personalities, other social media warriors, other talk show hosts. They'll be forced to speak the truth. I say do good. Good is good to do. Make a try. Make an effort. If you make an effort to do good, sometimes you do wrong. But at least you didn't set out to do wrong. Don't set out to do what is wrong. Today I was jolted by an individual, a farmer. He informed me that he was picking cocoa this week. And this morning, in fact, I heard that he was picking cocoa. I've been inquiring over the last couple of days, and I guess the people I was asking didn't have information. Today, I call on the Minister of Agriculture. The Minister of Agriculture. I call on you. I call on the farmers' representative in the Senate and the chairman of the Nutmeg Board. The three of you all, sit down and have a discussion. Sit down and have a meeting. Because I believe three of you all was involved in setting up this monster attitude or principle or procedure of the Cocoa Association. The Cocoa Association, they practically buying cocoa without genuinely providing information for the public. Based upon the information I have, they have a chat room with some farmers. And they go and they write when they're buying cocoa on buying points. So let me give you an example. If you're going to visit the points field buying point, you may see nothing written on the board. But it doesn't mean Cocoa Association is not buying cocoa. It just means they're not buying in Pointsville. So you don't know when they're buying, but you're visiting Pointsville buying point because they normally write it on the board in chalk. But that doesn't mean they're buying cocoa. It means that they're not buying in Pointsville. Well, my God, does it mean that the farmer who don't have clout, whose name is deliberately left out on the cocoa chat room, have to visit all the points to know when they're buying cocoa? They normally purchase cocoa 3 days for the week. And if a farmer has different parcels of land and he's using temporary workers to pick his cocoa, sometimes he never finish picking. Some farmers are so fed up. They are planting sauce up and cutting on the cocoa. Some farmers are so fed up. When this policy was adopted, I guess the members of the Cocoa Association felt that the government in power wasn't in their interest, so they was taking action to sabotage the government then. But now they have to recognize they're sabotaging their own government. I have accused the Cocoa Association and the Nutmeg Association of historically playing politics. In yesteryear, they used to be for the old GNP party. And then they support the NDC party. And they always play in politics. This is so clear. It is so blatant. It is so unacceptable that today the National Democratic Congress is in power. But the satellite, the organization, have played so much negative politics that they don't realize what they're doing now is against the NDC. So I call on Persuader, Adrian Thomas, the Minister of Agriculture. You spend a significant time on the board. You have a good working relationship with the Speaker of the House and also the farmers' representative in the Senate. Please, sit down and change the policy. It is not in the interest of the National Democratic Congress. When the NNP was there, I know you want to sabotage them. But you continue to use the Cocoa Association for your cheap political game. And even now that your political party is in power, you continue to do it. So I plead with you. You're going to frustrate a lot of farmers. Some of them are older farmers, and the land is more a sense of security now than really income generating. And as the younger ones come in, they don't have the patience, they don't have the passion, and they don't have the history of the Cocoa Association. So they are cutting it down and replacing it with more favorable and less controversial crops. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Pierre. Hold on.
Great, man.
Pierre, when you check the track record of NDC, NDC don't care about farmers. They don't care about farmers because, firstly, if they really care about farmers, who would be selling to Maxim Board? Right? Who would be selling to Maxim Board? In not them outside farmers, if farmers are writing grain here, right? Is farmer right here? So if they really care about farmers, they'll leave Maxim Board open, right? And whatever structure they are planning to do, they have to do to Maxim Board. They are going ahead and do it, right? But you see what now? They hate Maxim Board because I know they had a problem. The leader of the party had a problem with Maxim Board, concerned to do with certain thing with the rice mill, where the Maxim Board won with the case. So then he had Maxim Board in his car, right? And if this government is really care about farmers and workers in general in the country, they would keep restructure Maxim Board by still having Maxim Board open. What they close on Maxim Board, they have one or two people working inside there, right? A skeleton stuff working inside there, Mr. Pierre. And what you find happening, Mr. Pierre, all the persons were heading in the different boards, both the North American cocoa boards, they were playing politics. Even the farmers are supporting them, they playing the games with them. So they don't even care about the farmers that is green, that is yellow, right? So you can imagine what about the green. I will say that, okay, you have people have cocoa to sell all in different places in the country. But then no information coming to these people to know when cocoa will be selling. Only in certain areas you write from where the cocoa will be selling. As I said, information need to know. And if you want the farmers to benefit and to get sale for the cocoa, you have to give the information to all farmers. Let them sell the cocoa. You have to do it. And that's the whole trend of this government. Right? The trend of government is to victimize even their own supporters that support them. They're victimizing them. Because why? They don't care about them. They get them to do what they want. They get a vote early, so they don't care about them. They don't care about them. But if you really cares about your farmers, cares about people, and cares about the country that you govern in, you're going to see prosperity, peace, and stability to in your country. And I always say the policy of this government is what going to bring on this government. Because the policies is not to help the majority of people, but to help a few set of people, the friends in the country. What I always say to Ghanaian people, take heed, look and know what is going on in the country, and look and see which is the government that reach out and help you. And when you have a government that was there before, yes, Mackinwood had problem, but they keep Mackinwood open because there are people working there, they have someone to take care of, right? And they have things would have been done to help restructure Mackinwood. Come, you have election to place, election call, and the oath. But this government right now, they don't have no need for the farmers of Greater Caribbean compete in Martinique. Because if farmers work in the land, where will they get it in sell? They have to go in the market and sell it. Because one of the things I look at it, when you have farmers have to produce the thing, repeat, plant it and repeat and go and sell it in the market. But what happens? That gives the thieves and them more time to go and reap the hard working farmers in our country to reap the crop.
Yes, thank you, caller. Yes, thank you, caller. And farmers are not vendors. People have to understand that. The farmer want to produce, get it out of his hand, go back in the land. Once the farmer turn the vendor, the land is going to suffer. And I don't know, that is why a lot of farmers market fail. The farmer is not a vendor. The farmer produce a crop and he sell it to get market for it. He is happy. The fisherman is not a vendor. The fisherman want to go and hold fish. He don't want to come back and sell it. These are different areas. And it's very difficult for me to understand. In 2023, why the Cocoa Association is behaving like that. So I appeal to Persuader, Adrian Thomas. You spend half your life in agriculture. You spend half on the cocoa and nutmeg board. You're on the third half now as a policy maker. So I beg you, go and sit down in a meeting with the farmers' representative in Parliament, in the upper house. Sit down with the Speaker of the House. 3 of you all perhaps was involved in that policy to have a chat room for specific cocoa farmers. I've been trying to get on that chat room about 3 years now. Not successful. They ain't putting me. They're afraid if they put me, I will tell everybody. I don't understand why it is. And I've met a number of farmers that claim they're fed up. I see some farmers planting sauerkraut and cutting on cocoa. And still, the National Democratic Congress, I implore you to change that policy. That policy is counterproductive. It doesn't make any sense. It ain't following logic. Perhaps we might have to ask the people in the diaspora to ask you to change. They have more power. The 16th constituency have more power than anybody in Grenada. So we might have to put our case to them. But the farmers' representative in the House, investigate this thing. It's unfortunate that we don't have journalists in Grenada paying any attention to the cocoa and nutmeg industry and marketing board and other commodity boards. They're not interested in that. This is not sensational news. You don't sell. So we pay the price. Always. And I don't see how this could benefit. I've tried to look at it from all angles. I've held discussion with a number of farmers, and we cannot see the wisdom in trying to tell a specific amount of people when you're selling cocoa. of going and write it on the board in chalk. So if you're not buying in that area, you don't inform the farmers in that area where cocoa will be purchased. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Good afternoon, brother.
Yeah, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, I hope you enjoyed the weekend.
Of course, it was good, man.
Mr. Pierre, you're speaking about NDC though, like agriculture and all this kind of thing.
No, I didn't say they don't like agriculture. I say it's the worst group in Grenada where agriculture is concerned.
You say it's the worst group?
The worst
Mr.
group.
Pierre, the NDC bringing the chocolate factories in Grenada, 2 of them, before they developed, they were manufacturing for cocoa. They buying cocoa and they do all kind of things. And you say they don't encourage in that. Let me tell you something, Mr. Pierre. The NMP government, they destroy agriculture in this country. Number one, the marketing board.
You want to react to what? Caller.
Yeah.
One of the ways to strengthen your argument is to give me reasons, counter me. I said the NDC is the worst group where agriculture is concerned. Tell me where NDC is strong.
NDC bringing the chocolate factory in Grenada.
What else they do? What else they do?
No, they're planting the nutmeg in this country. NMP had years and years and
Caller,
years.
you could strengthen your point. Caller, when you arguing, strengthen your point, because I will give you 10 reasons after why I think NDC is the worst. So you know, you talk about the chocolate factory. You could even add the factory from St. Lucia that they bring in the industrial park. What you call them again? That making products from pepper and all these other things. You could even add that to NDC. Strengthen the points you're making, rather than just saying this man is bad, but this man more bad. You understand? Give me some reasons why you think NDC.
I tell you what go wrong.
All right, okay.
Look the marketing body. Those people had 9.4 years to fix it. Try and fix it. Now we end up in bankrupt. NDC had to come back now. They setting up a plan to fix it so that they could get back working again. So I am proud of my government. Pierre, you have a good day.
Yes, man. And you see, a lot of people in Grenada is very proud of NDC. They're very comfortable with NDC. They like when NDC is in power. That is why after the budget, I said the budget is very good for some people and is a disaster for people who fall in the lower income group. When the National Democratic Congress is in power, a lot of people is happy, but not the majority of people. When the NDC dealt with the structural adjustment program, they balanced the book. And for years, they praised the NDC. But they cut social program. They brought in debt service levy. And they caused serious problems for the marginalized. When the NDC cut down Belvedere nutmeg and plant banana, a lot of people in Grenada was happy. They make money from it. They were satisfied. But the NDC, how could you cut down Belvedere nutmeg? And that is when I started to take a deep interest to find out why this party was doing this thing. Then the NDC went and said again that they're going to plant banana for Salisbury or what. So they plow up wrong River and Twine. A lot of people was happy. Some people got jobs. One of the individuals that got a big job, I said to him, you should be flogged. You're an agricultural expert, you know better. Even though they was paying you $1 million, you should not accept that job. But he was glad. A number of people was happy. But what happened to that project? It came to naught. When the Prime Minister, this present Prime Minister, decide to launch the spice project soon after they win, I remember saying, no, this is trickery. Because spice don't take 3 months to prepare them for planting. What the government did was to stop the distribution of spice to farmers who applied for it and those farmers who don't apply but normally go and collect, to just make a show. When the government spoke about legalizing weed, remember the previous government tabled a bill in Parliament for the first reading. The NDC practically sabotaged the bill by announcing we're going to legalize weed. Like they were saying, there is no need for discussion. We're going to legalize weed. Some members of the Rastafarian community had an exhibition and put weed on display. The police had to go and talk to them and tell them not to do it. That is why Fargo went in jail when Maurice Bishop told them to go legalize weed. When the government went to Granby Estate and complimented and applauded and praised the workers there for doing a good job and informed them that the estate is targeted for weed growing, and then fire the people. How do you explain these things? When the National Democratic Congress refused to have a meeting after 16, 17 months with the exporters in Soursop, not many of them, maybe about 10 exporters you have. They refused to have a meeting with them. But they cut down the team that was managing the cotton scale insect. After noise was made, they take back 3 people. How do you explain that? When the Prime Minister is speaking about renting trucks from Greentel to go and harvest mango and guava, I mean, how do you explain this thing? It's embarrassing. It's an insult. When you hear them speak about cow, having cattle and milking cow, it means that they are not consulting with the Ministry of Agriculture. And I'm disappointed in Adrian Persuader Thomas. He ought to know that at this stage, the emphasis should be on small ruminant and not cattle. Small ruminant and not cattle. Because more and more land is divided, and the lands in the south where we had a number of cattle, some land is purchased for the hotel industry, in addition to that government buying for the hospital. And more farmers moving out from cattle production. And here the government is talking about it. Something is wrong. When the government raised the price of sugar, and at the same time advancing the view that we could increase production in white potato, something is wrong with the government production. The previous government did a lot of work with CMOS producers. So now we're producing a lot of CMOS on the market. So what this government needs to do is to continue CMOS production. Invest more in fishing. Make more effort for the source of growers to increase production. One of the ways they could do it is to plant 30, 40 acres of sauerkraut on government land. Give it top quality treatment so in 2 years you will be producing sauerkraut rather than 3. What the government doing don't make sense. I mean, come on. When you have a government in power and the Minister of Agriculture, the farmers' representative in the Senate, and the Speaker of the House was involved in the Cocoa and Nutmeg Association for decades. Decades. And the attitude to this commodity boards is what now? Something is wrong. The previous government declared agriculture as an essential service. That was spectacular. Yet, Nutmeg Association don't buy nutmeg every day. What is the improvement? What is Mr. Bridgman have called on this radio station, sometimes irritating the ears of people about husbandry in Cocoa Association? Because any extension officer knows that the cocoa industry is crying out for better husbandry practice. This government seems don't know what they're about. This is why I say they have the worst track record in agriculture. The worst track record. They're good at propaganda, at making lies. But where agriculture is concerned, the NDC is the worst. Yes, they would have done things. Things would have happened during the ranks. Go and look at the chocolate factory. The caller says they introduced the chocolate factory. I don't even want to argue with them. I always say tanks are mud green. Tanks are mud green that start to make chocolate. And not mud green was a Rasta. Live with them Rasta. Tanks are mud green. When you talk about chocolate in Grenada, you have to say tanks are mud green. And look at the last, the sham, the fiasco that Cocoa Association did with the last chocolate factory they initiated. And they're hiding the information, you know. Up to now, a number of things is not clear about it. They're hiding. So the National Democratic Congress don't have a good track record where agriculture is concerned. And I think they have the worst track record. And these are the arguments that I advance for it. I have much more, but it's not that significant. That's why I appeal, I implore, I beg, I encourage the Speaker of the House, the farmers' representative in the Senate, and Adrian Persuader Thomas, the Minister of Agriculture, to sit down in a caucus, have a meeting, and see how we could continue to strengthen the Cocoa Association, improve the communication, and better harvesting practice. Very many years ago, I had the opportunity in the rum shop to have a discussion with some of these men, those that has come in the rum shop, and discussing issue of the fact that nutmeg and cocoa could be considered as a forest crop, and we could get grant aid on the international market. I mean, come on. It's not fair. I appeal to the government of the day. You have an ambassador in Cuba. Ask them to get somebody down with you or to assist you in commercial queen production. If you want to improve the beekeeping industry, the answer is commercial queen production. Beekeepers in Grenada and many countries in the Caribbean and the world used to purchase queens from Hawaii, Veracruz Island in Puerto Rico. They even explore the possibility of buying queen from New Zealand. They don't want to bring queens from the American mainland. They cannot bring from Africa and South America because of disease. But if we're able to do commercial queen production in Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, or Grenada, in the next few years, perhaps we could be supplying the world like Hawaii. That is why I say the University of the West Indies is bad-minded. They have not done justice to agriculture. I agree with John Compton. John Compton said they have not done justice to agriculture. He said we're worse off than the days of Pharaoh. Because in days of Pharaoh, we had the bullocks and the cart. Today, we're fighting with the hoe and spade. Our university graduates is preoccupied with speaking good English and dressing with tie. But they're not practical. They come from university, but they can't practicalize their certification. They could be good teachers. But that doesn't mean they could make the student they teach make money. The time has come for us to change, and we're behaving like victims. We're blaming everybody when we fail to act. The government don't have to, all the government have to do, go and plant 30 acres of sauersup on Grand Bay Estate, on Montreal Estate, plant on Bellevue Estate too, because you could sell sauersup leaves. Invest seriously in flowers. You don't have to spend much money in it. Maybe you have to help the marketing. The government could create advertisement so people would consume more eggs. Grenadians is not eating enough eggs. Market the eggs. So the government marketing arm in agriculture could wake up. Persuader, wake up from your slumber. You sleeping. The government have enough money to do it. Come on. So once again, I beg Persuader and the farmers' representative in the Senate. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Weekend.
Yeah, my brother, go right ahead. Great, man. Good weekend.
Right. I am saying this new administration get everything going in their favor. And yet still, yesterday a political activist of their group told me that they just have a year and months, we should give them a chance. They have 5 years to see if they could turn around. I said no, they have meet everything in place. A government meet money in the treasury. A government meet a very good tax structure of collection. They meet everything going for them. They also meet Grenadians in the campaign. This government is too long, we wanted. Everything went in his favor. All he had us to do was proper management. But they show to the nation plain, I don't know if you want to agree with me, that they don't really care about poor people. And I was saying the last time that any government interfere with the poor, they put a cost on themselves. And they will never raise their head, because this is the old heads who bring us here today. And we're supposed to take good care of them. I don't know if Mr. Pierre agreed with them. Once, Sir Eric told me so, as a little boy, never interfere with the poor. This is why he always check for his poor people. Whether Christmas, whether what time, that's the first thing he always do. Money was small those days, but he never leave out the poor people, poor and vulnerable. As you say, low income. And once a government interferes, people forget it. this government make everything in their favor. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yes,
And look now,
scholar.
we have
Yes, scholar, I agree. I think.
you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Okay. We lost the callers. I think there's some psychological impact of the NDC losing election very badly have affected the DNA. Yes, scholar, welcome. His phone's not got him. Yeah, I think it has affected the DNA. Practically decree. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr.
Yes.
Pierre. I trust you have had a good weekend.
Yes, the
and
weekend
thank
was
God
good.
for the rain.
Yeah.
I just want to extend condolences to the family of the late Adrian Spaceman. I understand he passed away. Former minister, a good community activist, and I think he has been a good example to the community in which he lives, and by extension St. Patrick's and Grenada. And for that, we are eternally grateful, and we say to the family, be strong. God is good, and he will take care of you. Have a great day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, it's a good thing you said that. I should. Yes, I always say this scholar brings about the soft side in me. Adrian Spaceman was a minister. People rate him as a better minister of sports after Roy St. John. And he contributed immensely to football and sporting activities. Some people accuse him for loving River Sally too much. But yes, where sports is concerned, there is no question that Spaceman would have ranked high. And we hope that we wish him all the best, and may his soul rest in peace. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Yeah.
I just want to implore on our people. The rain is falling, and so many times we have a shortage of water. I think it's because in a lot of cases the pipes in the mountain get damaged. So I just asking our people to continue to fill up our empty buckets and bottles to ensure that, we have water, because when we have a shortage and we have, the flies around, it can, help with the spread of the diarrhea. So please let us remember to fill up and to sanitize and prepare for the heavy water. One of the things I observed, though, being on the streets, so many times we forever beat up when things go wrong and the negatives. But in my honest opinion, one of the positives I'm seeing that come out of the sidewalk, the work that was done in Grenville, is that the water tends to go down a bit faster. And I think it's because of maybe we have more outlets now, so the water can run out. So even if we have an overflow, the water goes down faster in the town of Grenville. And that helps to ease up with the flooding a bit. And so the communities can, move a bit faster. And this is one of the positives I have observed from the recent work that was done on the sidewalk and in the streets of Grenville. Thank you again for your
Yes,
time.
scholar, great observation. I think I agree with you on that. I didn't say it, but I think it's a great observation, callers. We have to want to solve our problems. Every time I hear about water, many decades ago, a lot of suggestion was going around to NASA. Well, they wouldn't take the suggestions of ordinary people. They have to have a consultant. One of the problems we have with water here is storage. And if you can store water for 2 days, 1 week, then you wouldn't experience much problem. The people who have discretionary income and could build a tank, they don't have an idea when water stops, when water comes. Because they could put a 1,000-gallon tank in their home. So the people who are affected the most. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good evening.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, I have one comment to make, and it is bothering me. I heard on a piece of news and a video that a 32-man delegation is going to Doha on the expenses of the poor people back. Mr. Pierre, they remove 150 from the poor and vulnerable. They increase the salary by 2,000, and now they're sending a 32-man delegation. That is a lot of $1,000 on the coppers of Grenada taxpayers back. I am worried what will happen next. All kind of people they are transporting up and up and up and above and away. It is upsetting me that these monies that they are spending on individuals to travel with this large delegation. I've never seen that in no prior government traveling with a delegation. Maybe a 2, 3, 4-man delegation, 5-man maximum. Yes, I have no problem with that. But 32 members for Doha, and the cost of and the expenses on the public back, Grenada government needs to do better. They need to change that policy. They need to look after what they're doing and come better to the Grenadian masses. I am appealing to the Prime Minister and his cabinet. Let us cut back on these expenses, this unnecessary spending, and focus on the poor and vulnerable people of our country. Thank you very much, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar. When people say these things, they might understand why I consider these 9 members of the government as vultures. They prey on the unsuspecting. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my brother, good
While
afternoon.
I appreciate what this gentleman have just said, the minister said to us, Mr. Tools, see, we have a lot of money. We have a lot of money. Men have a lot of money, and they're getting a lot of money. So the policy could be different. Because if you have a lot of money and you don't have avenues of letting it out, you could think of letting it out hilly-milly. So we have to wonder which is really the thing. And I support what the gentleman said. That the team seems to be, we don't know what they're really going on and whatnot. But if you have a lot of money, wouldn't you not spend a lot of money? That's what Toast told us.
But he's not spending it on a certain group of people?
Well, you no matter what you spend, you have a lot. Okay. When you have a lot of money, you spend. So perhaps that's what we will have to find out from Toast, what he really means. You know? Mm-hmm. Long ago, when your parents give you $10 for Christmas, it's a lot of money you have.
Yeah.
You understand? You come home with a lot of things that last you one day.
Sometimes you buy a little pen, I think yeah. They drop some lash on you and throw the pen.
So we have to find out. You see, these big people, when they go in the parliament and they make those statements, and then they take decision, and we're not aware of the decision they take, it could put us in a real chaos. Because remember, a man that is a minister is considered to be one of the highest personnel in the state, permanent secretary minister. We look up to these people. You remember when the airport was to rename, and Mr. Peter David went to Cuba and said that, and Mr. Tillman Thomas said him talking in different tongues. They didn't give him that message. But Mr. Peter David came back and said that he was given instruction by the cabinet.
Yeah.
You understand? So you understand the thing? The cabinet give you the instruction, but the Prime Minister wasn't satisfied.
Maybe the Prime Minister did just fall asleep at the time.
He was fall asleep?
Maybe he was dozing.
Okay.
I didn't remember.
So you see, we have to be very, very careful. We're getting a lot of different ideas coming from these people. In one thing you hear they tell you, we're doing very well. one minister tell you that the health service is very well, but the permanent secretary in the ministry saying she making an apology for the minister.
Again, maybe the minister didn't have much sense. You remember the minister young. He don't have much sense. And after they sit down and listen about our lives.
Lara was a young man when he started to play cricket, you know.
Yeah, but Lara was a good cricketer. These people are never involved. They never even practice. Yeah?
You understand? So
they never play school cricket, you know. Lara plays school cricket, he plays second.
And we getting drugs and whatnot. But they're telling you, when you go there, they don't have medication, and they're admitting, the permanent secretary admitting that some carelessness caused people to death, you know.
We're in trouble. We're in a lot of problems.
So I don't know how we have to really believe those things.
Yeah.
Because you so conflicting.
Well, we have to believe it because they're lying. They're telling plenty lies.
You know,
and you know we've been pointing out that.
It's so conflicting when we get those statements. The same thing you talk about cocoa. I remember telling the general manager, which is Mr. Hastic, about the way that the buying of cocoa was being announced. At that time, they was using culture man.
The culture doesn't know, but he don't bother into
culture said he not telling people again.
No.
And I remember in meetings telling Mr. Hastic that you want a more permanent and a more official way of informing people when they're buying cocoa. So this is not new. And with the cocoa factory in Moncton, in Carlton,
it doesn't matter. Just go ahead. Go ahead. Don't bother waiting.
In Victoria, when the factory was to be built, the NMT was in power, and the NMT promised the Cocoa Association $300,000. It happened that the NMT lost the election and the NDC came in, and they did give funds to assist in it, but they did not give the $300,000. Yep. And that is one of the place where the Prime Minister, the Dr. Kit Mitchell, explained to people what he talked about farming, because people were saying that Dr. Mitchell wasn't interested in farming, but when he explained that to people there.
You know, Coco, NDC always do dumb things with agriculture is concerned. Yeah.
So we know that today they build an next factory say for white chocolate, but yet still we haven't seen the farmer receiving more, and we haven't seen more cocoa being planted. If you have two factories,
yes, scholar.
Plus that you have other factories, we should be in a better position now with cocoa.
Yeah, caller. Thank you. Yeah, that is it. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome and punch. Yes, caller. Go right ahead.
My concern is about them people on the show line what they give the help.
I wonder if it's your voice that I had and trying to reach. Sister? I say, I wonder if it's your voice I had and trying to reach.
Hello?
You from Union?
You trying to reach me?
Yeah. You from Union?
Yes, I'm from Union.
You that gave me your telephone number?
Let me show you your button.
Yes, I'll come and look for you today.
Yes.
I was trying to reach you, but I don't know if I'm modeling number. What was the number again?
Oh, they're helping me because sometimes when I can't get help me, somebody don't come and help me.
They help you?
Yes.
All right, okay, thank you. All right then. Once you get in help, good. Yeah. Yes, I know that tried to reach his sister, but maybe I took the number wrong, but she said she getting help, so that is good. Now, the people have to understand, and I believe I spent some time on the policy of the National Democratic Congress. Because if we understand the policy of the Congress, maybe we would not fall in the trap we are in. The National Democratic Congress always hostile to people in the lower income group. Caller, you got a punch. You're the last caller. Go right ahead.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes, caller.
those people are going to Doha. You know, they're going on a climate exhibition. Listen to me. The climate funds paying for the passage, they paying for the room, the meal and everything. That climate sponsor summit they have in Hungary. So I don't know what kind of misinformation are they trying to push, what kind of propaganda
Caller,
are they trying to push?
caller,
Yes.
caller. Remember, the government say information is based on need to know.
But you're
And
going to like-
caller, hold on. So because the government is hiding information, speculation going to run wild. And when you ask question, caller, the government have to answer question when we ask. If they don't answer any question, speculation is going to run wild. You hear that? Go ahead, caller.
Statement. Right?
All right, thank you, caller. You see, the government refused to provide information for the people. Even when they were asked in Parliament, what is the cost of traveling so far? They're not telling government. They're hiding. I understand the Prime Minister make over 20 trips already away. Every time he want rainfall on the galvanized, he gone in some country. We used to be St. Kitts, St. Lucia, and Barbados, but no, gone further. Anytime you want rainfall on the galvanized, maybe you find people getting information too quick. But the reality of the day is the National Democratic Congress, their policy always hostile to people in the lower income group. That doesn't mean that the policy is not popular among the main supporters. When NDC in power, they travel galore. A lot of the members circulate on board. Fewer people benefit. But these people want to see them in power. They give tax break to big businessmen. It doesn't mean that if you are NNP, you won't benefit too. But that is a policy. They fire more people and unemployment will rise. They brought the debt service levy. They cut down Belvedere and Nutmeg. They fuck up wrong River trying to plant banana. They know these programs are failures. But they still do it because of the policy. The NDC always cut social program. So if your income is less than $3,000, you have to be mindful that the government of the National Democratic Congress would not be in your interest. It doesn't mean that a few of you wouldn't benefit, but the majority of people in that income bracket would be at a disadvantage. That is why they changed the policy on the housing. The houses was targeting people in the lower income group that the banks and the financial institution don't want to see. So the NDC removed these houses from the people in the lower income group. That doesn't mean that one or two people that perhaps is the top supporters, they may not squeeze them in. But generally, once your income group is lower than $3,000 a month, the NDC policy would be counterproductive to you. And I think that is where you need. It's not about I like this man or I don't like this man. Always look at the policy of the government. If you find a government policy that is geared to lower income group, 10,000 toilets. Well, if they have 10,000 toilets in a system, Even though you don't support the government, you won't get. Because the policy is more geared towards people in the lower income group. 3,000 to 4,000 young people employed one time. You know? So one have to look at the policy of the government. And we're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another opportunity to punch. Thank you very much.